I'm Bo Maddox.
I'm Robert Ortegon.
And I'm Chazz Raab.
And this is Collateral Cinema.
What makes you think you can bullshit your way into my head? Like every other pencil-neck piece of shit.
Welcome to Collateral Cinema, the only movie podcast that matters, where we focus on good movies, bad movies, and everything else in between in the world of cinema. We're podcasting straight from somewhere in South Texas, and yes, my friends, this is a 420-friendly podcast, so whatever you have, whether you have blunts, whether you have joints, whether you have dabs, smoke it if you got it, ladies and gentlemen. Smoke it if you've got it.
The vape it.
The vape pen, yeah, definitely
And
the vape
eat it.
pen. drink the liquid, kids. It's good for you.
And don't plug it, because you have a problem if you're plugging it.
Oh, God.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Collateral Cinema coming at you and with a bonus episode. In case you haven't noticed, we do have our season finale on iTunes right now, as well as the whole first season. Please listen to that. That's all kinds of fun.
It is super fun.
Oh, yeah, man.
All the episodes in the last season I was really happy with, man. Like, you chose some really fun movies.
Yeah, we wanted to kind of keep it dynamic, keep it fun, sometimes a little nostalgic, and also every 420 we are going to have special episodes the entire month to celebrate the holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a true stoner celebration.
Oh, yeah.
You treated it like one. It's like,
yeah. That's why we went ahead and did a month-long celebration.
We did two of them, right? Two episodes.
Yeah, we did two of them.
How High and
the Broken Lizard movies.
That's
Super
right.
Troopers 1 and 2.
You did two, and I haven't seen two, so I didn't watch it. I didn't listen to it.
It's spoiler-free, so I
Yeah.
mean,
Okay.
you can listen to it and not get any...
Spoiler-free? That's true. I guess it's all a lot of it's physical comedy.
It is. Yeah, certainly. Like, we watched it in the theater, right, Robert?
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Oh,
Okay,
man, it
good.
was great.
You know, that's another thing. I haven't heard shit about it.
Lived
Like,
up
that
to
was
the
a big-
original.
Oh, man, we
pretty
saw it first run, 420.
Nice. Very cool.
Oh,
Very
yeah,
cool.
definitely.
Well, I'll have to check that out on my way home.
So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we are here talking with Chazz Raab from the Trial by Error Variety Show podcast. Chazz, why don't you go and tell us what your podcast is about and what you do there?
Music.
Oh, yeah.
I talk.
Music and
I
talking.
listen to music.
Yeah,
Simple. No, it's all about getting people that have made really good music out into the open, because I guess they came from really just having a band for so long and not really, working really hard, putting hundreds and hundreds of hours in, building relationships with other members.
Yeah.
And playing tons of shows, not really wanting payback, but just some sort of building of a fan base and only really staying local.
Yeah.
And I understand there's distribution everywhere, Reverb Nation and stuff like that.
SoundCloud and all that stuff.
Yeah, but you always, as you're loading your stuff up there, you kind of have that seed in your mind, like, I hope somebody finds this,
Yeah.
And so I'm that
You're the somebody that finds it.
person that comes in and with that seed of hope, and I find it and I say, this is cool, do you want to talk about it? And that's pretty much it. And then anybody that wants to hear that and learn about that band can do that all in one place.
Right on. And you can find Trial by Error on iTunes and wherever else you get your podcasts. Right? iHeartRadio. Oh, y'all are on iHeartRadio?
Yeah, but not Spotify, because we're not airing our original content.
Really?
Yeah. But what I've done is any bands that are on Spotify, I've made a huge playlist.
Oh, okay.
So all I gotta do is follow me, Chaznik Raab, actually, CHAZNIK.
Chaznik.
RAAB. My social security is...
That's right. You're going to give us all your fucking information.
But yeah, for real, there's a playlist of any band that we've had on there, all of their albums in their entirety.
That's great.
So hit
right
shuffle
there.
and you don't have to hear my voice ever. Just hear the music.
Just hear everything that's been featured on your
That's it.
show.
That's it.
right.
Nice.
But today we are talking movies, of course, because this is Collateral Cinema. You know,
I love movies too.
We're talking about the 2004 zombie horror movie made by Showtime and directed by David Gebroe, Zombie Honeymoon. This movie is definitely very much made for TV. Like, it definitely has that quality to it. It has that cinematography. It has the acting of it. But honestly, I found it kind of endearing.
Yeah.
Really. And especially after sitting down and watching the director's commentary, where he really kind of laid out why he made the movie. And it turns out it was made for his sister. His sister met a guy from Germany on a psychobilly website, and apparently they hit it off, and they started a relationship, and they were engaged to be married, and he was a surfer, and he had a surfing accident and passed away. So this was kind of a little tribute to that whole part of their lives, you know. It was kind of for his sister.
Yeah, without getting into it too much, I kind of felt like that's what it was their relationship meant so much to her that it was going to take down everything around her.
Oh, definitely.
And I didn't know that story, but I kind of got that was the overall feel. You know?
It's definitely a very personal film, honestly. I mean, in the summary is basically this couple, they get married. Let's see, what was their name? There was Denise and Danny, I believe.
Yeah.
Danny and Denise. They get married. They go on their honeymoon. They're out on the beach, and this zombie comes, pukes in Danny's mouth.
Ocean,
right by the ocean, yeah. Just comes out of the
Out of
ocean.
nowhere.
Totally a Lucio Fulci thing, by the way.
Yeah, they've been out there all day.
Yeah.
But it's like when you stick your toes in the sand, you're trying to find a little crab or something.
Yeah.
They don't always surface right away, but then later on you see them. This was like a bigger version of that.
Yeah, needless to say, this fucking surfaced.
It's like a clam that comes and vomits on you.
Yeah.
It doesn't come and vomit. I'm saying it comes to you.
To me, that's the most interesting part of this whole movie, is that the zombification doesn't happen by way of a bite. It's literally puking into another person's mouth.
And it was mouth, and it was eyes.
Yeah, just it's almost like the 28 days later kind of thing, right?
His ears.
Instant zombification, right?
Yeah, and he ended up dying like a few minutes after that attack at the beach.
Yeah, everything went...
Everything went south real quick.
He coded and then came right back.
Yeah. Like the doctor is just like, the fuck?
Yeah. And what's great, too, is there's a lot of... sort of foreshadowing right there with that, as far as you start to put together what's about to happen.
Yeah.
And then of course we'll get into it
yeah,
when you start
definitely.
getting when everything starts to make a little more sense. But
Yeah, well, I mean, after the attack and after he comes back, he starts exhibiting some odd behaviors. He starts feeling a lot more hungry. He starts to look and feel a lot more sluggish, and then eventually he just starts attacking people, like straight up.
The mailman is the first one.
Yeah, the
that
very
he takes
first one.
out. He's really insatiable, but also Denise is enabling him because
very
she
much
witnesses what she thinks is the first instance.
Yeah.
Actually, it's the jogger, I think, that she
the jogger is the
witnesses.
first one that she comes across, and understandably, she freaks out.
Yeah.
Like, understandably, she's like, "Don't touch me!"
Gets over that real fast, though. Like,
very
real
fast.
fast. And then that's when you see your first boob, I think, isn't that? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, there is a brief love scene
It's
there,
strange.
and it's very brief, but
Yeah.
What's interesting is that the two actors, they were actually together at that time, so it wasn't anything they hadn't done or seen before.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was interesting to have that dynamic as well.
Did we say this was a Showtime
Yes,
movie?
we did. This is a Showtime movie. I mean, this is the same company that makes the softcore porn movies. Or I don't think they make those anymore.
The
Well,
TVMA stuff.
Yeah, Red Shoe Diaries and stuff.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny is I felt like the first time I watched this, I looked over the bad acting. I
Yeah.
definitely felt the low budget side of it. But the second time watching it to kind of take notes and stuff, I was like, damn, I'm being hard on this. And so, I had to get back into that mindset.
Yeah, exactly.
And, but back into the story, I really noticed that this was going to be one of those sort of romance in the way that you would do anything for your lover.
Oh, definitely. And
to keep him around and keep him safe, and she had already lost him once.
yeah, you feel that desperation, like 100%, that she's exhibiting throughout the entire movie.
Yeah.
And that's something that Tracy Coogan actually really did well.
I think it was great, and maybe them being together made that a little stronger. Is what I was getting.
Yeah,
at.
yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like them as a dynamic that worked best out of everything. I feel like the friends were a little cheese.
Oh, they were very cheesy. I mean, they were very ancillary as well.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
At least until the last 30 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty. Their dynamic was really great. I did not know they were together. That's really cool.
Yeah. Ooh, wow. Look at what's on the.
That's like Dex and Jesus.
Juicy.
Yeah.
We better have the black light on.
It's a juicy.
Yeah.
fruit.
No shit, right?
We got a
Scorpio.
Our fourth guest showed up.
Our fourth guest showed up. Jesus,
We got
Scorpion.
a hot mic over here, bud.
Oh shit. We'll go ahead and leave him alone for now, unless he tries to attack us. Then we're gonna have to attack
You got some
him.
scissors?
Got some scissors. Oh
Chancla.
shit. A chancla? I don't know. Yeah, we need more chanclas.
You going chocolate?
We need more
chanclas?
chanclas.
I got chocolate.
You got chanclas? Oh shit.
Oh.
That's right. We just had a scorpion attack.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Wonder if we should keep that in the podcast or not.
I hope there's no. I hope that scorpion doesn't come back to life and throw up in my face.
I hope not, right? Because I mean, what? I guess you turn into Scorpion from Mortal Kombat or something.
Yes. Yeah.
You just get up and like, get over here.
That's if you get hit by a bus. I don't know. and then somebody throws up in your mouth.
Yeah, and then somebody throws up. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. It's like to resuscitate you. It's like the last courteous thing a zombie can do. You know, like I see this dude. You know what? He was going out anyway. He might like this. Passing
gross.
the torch. You know. And that's another thing too. Is it just one at a time? Because it's not like, I mean, how many people can you throw up on at one time?
It's like, who's the chosen one?
Well, that's something that I was going to get to about this movie is that there's not really a zombie horde in this film. Ever.
It's just one zombie at a time, right?
It's just one. Well, actually, yeah, the first zombie you see is the one that actually infects Danny, and then Danny's just the main zombie throughout the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
And he just eventually deteriorates to where he's just biting random people eventually, and he's just attacking dudes that are coming out of a video store and shit.
So Clam Zombie, what's his story?
Yeah,
you know?
they never really get into where this zombie comes from, like what's actually going on here. Like, is this an international thing? Is there an outbreak going? Jesus. It's what's kind of interesting. There's no zombie outbreak here.
Yeah,
So,
and it ends with Danny.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, he.
Oh shit! Is that a spoiler?
No, we can spoil it. This movie has been around since 2004. If people haven't spoiled this yet or haven't seen it yet, that's on them.
Yeah, and everybody's got a dollar store in their town because that's where I found this one.
I found this for like $4 at CD Exchange.
I dug this little treasure out literally in one of those little paper ones.
Oh, really?
That said like hidden treasure, and it was like $1.
Oh yeah, at the Dollar General with the little yellow things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that a real boon, Robert? I mean, those are great.
Those are good.
I saw the Banksy one there too.
Oh,
the exit through the gift shop.
They have the exit through the gift shop there? Really?
For $1. Like that needs to fall in some people's hands. That's why I thought this is a pretty neat deal.
I remember finding a Criterion movie for like $1 there. Like it was a Gomorrah, the gangster movie.
I found Scanner Darkly there.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a good one.
There's some weird shit up in there.
I know, it's very random.
Yeah.
But I would totally believe that you would find Zombie Honeymoon up in here.
I was glad to find it. That's why I brought it up. And like shit, if you want to talk about this movie, I think it's really the only one that people don't talk about because I never really haven't met anybody that's seen it.
See, I was only ever really aware of it just by way of going out and DVD shopping because I'm a movie collector, of course. Like I'm always going to like Half Price Books or CD Exchange to buy movies and everything, and I would always get down to the Z section and I would always see that there. I'm like, huh.
I mean, cheesy as shit.
To be fair, there's a lot of stuff there that's like zombie this and zombie that and everything.
It's saturated.
It's very saturated, and that's honestly why I was a little hard on the movie at first, honestly. Like, because to me, the whole zombie thing's kind of played out a little bit.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Especially with the whole running from them and terror and fear. Like, this whole thing, every attack that Danny had was totally unexpected. You know, you got like just, like you said, there's nothing else going on.
Yeah, it's very out in the
People
open.
are just like jogging and mowing the lawn, and then some dude just comes up and starts eating your throat. I mean, that's
literally, and it's not like he can control it.
And it's 2004, probably 2002 when they're filming this thing, so there's no cell phones. Like people don't have that. That's
in fact, there's a lot of old technology in this movie. Like y'all remember seeing some of the computers in that?
Yeah.
The big old box monitors and everything.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, I'm so happy for LED.
Still got dial-up.
Yeah.
They're trying to film it, and you can see the little lines on the screen. Like, you just can't quite even...
Even crazier is
no way to film those ever.
Even crazier is the behind the scenes footage where it shows all the old camera equipment that they're using. They're still using like the big old monitor there and everything.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I don't know how different it is these days, you know. I mean, like Robert and I, we're going to be doing some filmmaking. We're just going to use iPhones for our shit, you know. And we got a boom mic and everything. But
like some X, or what are you using? Type of iPhone?
What type of iPhone?
Just the iPhone 8.
iPhone
Okay.
8, and I have iPhone S.
Works.
Yeah, we got like lenses and everything for it.
Nice.
So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned.
As a 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Contributing to the cinema, the world of cinema, huh? From some cinema lovers.
Yeah, but the zombie elements in this movie, to me, like they pretty much fit all of the tropes that you would expect. But I mean, it plays with them in very different ways, I think.
Well, it's a slow deterioration where most of the time when somebody dies and becomes a zombie, it's not only are they insatiable, but they can't comprehend. You know, hey, I'm your mom. Like, shit, I'm in your throat. But it was like he was always fighting what was the sickness, the virus that was eating him. So it was like,
to some degree, that was always there in the Romero Living Dead trilogy. You know, in some degree,
right. There were zombies that still had elements of intelligence.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much the whole thing about Day of the Dead. You know, you had Bub, a zombie that still was maintaining some semblance of, oh, this is a phone. These are Walkman headphones. I can put them on and everything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not like that element hasn't been done before. It's just here it's done in the context of a romantic... I don't want to say comedy. Like, I guess there's comedic elements here, but...
Yeah, but not like Warm Bodies, where it was just...
I never saw Warm Bodies.
Oh, yeah. This was obviously predated that.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I thought was interesting was like, well, wait, isn't this essentially Warm Bodies?
Yeah,
then I'm like, wait, this is before Warm Bodies.
But Warm Bodies had a lot more comedy and a lot of CGI.
Yeah.
And it was almost like... Final Destination.
I'm thinking Shaun of the Dead, you know, at that time.
Yeah,
that's
Shaun
one
of the
the
Dead.
best zombie movie
that's
ever
the
made.
best zombie comedy ever. Zombie rom-com ever.
It has to be, man. It's just so everything is there.
Plus, I mean, Edgar Wright.
Terror, gore, you know,
humor, and you know they're just trying to get to the Winchester.
Suspense.
You know? To write it all out.
And then get
like,
the fuck out of the Winchester.
Yeah. Oh man, that's definitely going to be a future episode. I mean, Shaun of the Dead is definitely a favorite of mine, and
Halloween's coming up.
Yeah,
Halloween is coming up.
You can't oversaturate it with the zombies, though.
But how do you feel about the actual romantic comedy elements of this movie, and how do you think that stands?
I think the comedy
in
really
contrast to the zombies.
The comedy didn't really do very good in here. I mean, I'm glad for it because it moves slow enough as it was, and I'm not so much a drama person, and the filmography wouldn't have carried it if it was just a full drama. So I did kind of like appreciate there was a little bit of like punk rock in it.
Oh,
and
that
like,
was great. Yeah.
And there was things that even when he was trying to like hold in what he was doing, that kind of they did a good job in that, and the friends being unaware and stuff like that made it a little more comedic.
When it boils down to it, this is definitely the character Denise's film, though.
Yeah.
I mean, she's the one who has to deal with everything that's happening with Danny, and she has to deal with the consequences of it, and the consequence of her staying with him.
It's like True Romance, kind of.
Yeah, in a way, it
That's
is.
what I mean. That relationship is more important to her than anything.
Yeah, so she's willing to just put all of herself into it.
Everyone dies.
Yeah, even her friends, man.
Everyone she loves and loves her.
Even the goddamn
is dead.
Even the goddamn cop that they introduce in the movie, like he gets killed.
Yeah, I feel like he really was just. He didn't have warrants. You know what I mean?
No, he didn't have any more to go in there.
He shouldn't have been snooping the way he did. He probably would
just fishing, right? Pretty much.
You know,
pretty much, right?
And that case never would have gone through.
No.
He didn't have a warrant. You know, what was he thinking? What was he gonna do? No matter what he stopped,
Yeah,
You didn't have the right paperwork. Come on, this is still America
and
in
then
2004.
And in the end, it's still an extraordinary circumstance where you're dealing with a literal fucking zombie.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I mean, how would cops really deal with that other than just shoot them and ask questions later?
Yeah, we all saw what happened in Florida with the bath salts.
Oh, Lord.
There was a lot of bullets flying back then.
I would not doubt that. I mean, he was eating a face.
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. It was messy.
Very messy. It's like, that's why I was just like, bath salts, no thank you. I mean, the spice stuff was bad enough.
It was bad enough.
The K2.
Fuck that shit, dude.
Stank,
fuck that
man. That
noise.
stuff stank. Anyway, so...
K2 and Cloud 9 stuff.
Yeah. Cloud 9,
fuck
K2,
that, dude.
stuff will fuck you up.
That's the closest thing we have to an actual zombie episode, though.
Yeah, it really is.
Honestly,
I mean,
in real life.
there was some people that dropped out during that phase.
Yeah, definitely.
And if you dropped out on the spice, somebody with bath salts would come around and eat you. So it was a dangerous time to be experimenting with
alternative drugs
Over the counter.
Over the counter. Yeah, not a good time.
Yeah. Smoke the weed, people.
Smoke the weed.
No.
But the actors in this movie, Tracy Coogan and Graham Sibley, I mean, once again, they were actually together in this movie, and that really did influence the overall vibe of this movie in so many different ways, I think.
Yeah.
And especially with the very deeply personal story that was behind the actual creation of the movie. Like, I mean, I kind of felt having two people that were actually dating at the time, that was, like, very, very important, really. And if I was the director, that's what I would have gone with as well.
Oh, it was a great choice.
Yeah.
It definitely, knowing that now, I give props because that relationship is what carried this movie. You're right. Everything else, the zombie, all of that, even at this time, has been saturated. But what made it stand out was, he tried really hard to not eat his friends for her.
Yeah.
And she tried really hard to get all the blood out of the grout every time he brought somebody home.
Exactly.
Bathtub,
I mean, her hands have got to be just raw from the bleach and the scrubbing and the blisters.
The director said that was kind of on purpose. It was to kind of inject that bit of domesticity into the whole thing.
It's great. It really emphasized again on the level that she was willing to take it.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like, all right, let's just kill him and bury him in the backyard. Like, it was like, we need to protect you. Like, you need to do this here, and we need to, dispose of this properly, not knowing when it's ever going to end.
Yeah, I mean, for all she knows, I mean, could have gone any different way.
Zombies live forever.
Yeah, they do. More or less.
And they will.
Yeah, I mean, they're just
going
to
keep feeding them.
Yeah, they're just going to keep eating and eating and eating and eating. I mean,
do zombies ever die even if they stop eating?
I think that if they were in a particular region that was maybe very, very cold or very, very hot, they could probably eventually deteriorate enough to where they won't hurt anybody and they'll just eventually rot away. Because you have to remember, a zombie is still a corpse.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still a corpse you're talking about. And corpses, they're still human bodies, and human bodies can only react to certain environments in certain ways.
Yeah, but what I don't understand about the contradictory part of zombie is their flesh starts melting, all this other stuff, but somehow their brain is still functioning. But the brain is only supported by blood. Yeah. And if the blood's like not here, like you can see through the chest, and that's clearly a way for all the blood to go out.
Well, if you're an Italian zombie movie director, you just use voodoo. Like in Volti's Zombie or in Zombie Holocaust
and this
or whatever.
Feels more like a curse.
Yeah, it feels more like a curse, but it still has that biological element to it, by way of the puking.
I think the only reason that it's Zombie Honeymoon is because it has that undead element.
Yeah,
but
of course.
The fact that this just goes from person to person seems more like it came out of New Orleans. Yeah. And ended up on the Jersey Shore where all things do. Nasty.
That's
Jersey Shore.
That actually kind of makes sense,
right?
And we already have precedent for zombies swimming underwater and everything in the movie Zombie by Lucio Fulci. Yeah. We have that precedent. So, I mean, it stands to reason, honestly.
So we could call it Voodoo Honeymoon.
Voodoo Honeymoon would be a little more appropriate, but then again, it's still very much zombie all the way.
Yeah. Cannibal Honeymoon. Voodoo Cannibal Honeymoon. It didn't work, so they just went with Zombie Honeymoon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even think zombie even comes up.
No, they don't really say the word zombie or anything like that.
Yeah.
At all.
Nothing.
They don't call him a zombie. They don't.
I don't even think they address it. I don't even think they say cannibal. I think it's just like, you like our friends now? We'll cook them up, baby. Whatever you want.
I know. I remember there was a line in the movie. It was something like where he was kind of convulsing and everything, going into his zombification. He's just like, vegetarians make terrible cannibals. It's like, yeah, I would say so.
Yeah,
man.
that's right. He
That's
was a
another thing.
vegetarian.
He's a vegetarian. Yeah.
God, that was in my notes.
Yeah, exactly. And that's another level of irony there, honestly.
Yeah.
Not a level of irony that's kind of been done before. I kind of feel like in certain zombie movies, even recently.
Yeah.
And I think they kind of went into that French movie Raw a little bit.
But it
They went with
really, that scene where they're sitting across the table though, and he's just eating that meat, just.
Oh yeah.
And she's just trying so hard to eat her, like
And
picking
that's
around
the
peas, you know. and-
candlelight dinner, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, she has her candlelight dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, by God, it's time to have our candlelight
And
dinner.
he's
We're on
just
our honeymoon.
fucking dripping in blood and chewing the meat, and the camera's just getting closer
Well,
and closer.
The interesting thing about that is before that, she finds him playing the arcade game that's in the living room.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because he still has that motivation to try to keep some semblance of his humanity.
But he's
video
cheating, though.
games.
He's trying to tilt it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's cheating a little. He's bumping up against it. Like that would have been going off. But
Bastard.
I felt like they really brought it home with all the frustration she's had, all that she's put up with, really amplified just like 1,000-fold when he's just sitting there eating that candlelight dinner. Like,
Yeah.
this is what you really want. You know, like this is what
Yeah,
you really
seriously.
want every day. Because a dude who smacks, like it just you know what I mean? Yeah, but
Yeah, that
nonetheless,
shit. Yeah.
the mess that's happening at the end of that table, you know, like it's not
God.
just like, hey, honey, could you just, you know,
It's like, Jesus Christ, if we don't stop that fucking smacking.
every day, you're gonna have to see severed ass cheeks or you know, just slabs of meat, just like whole thighs.
It's like, yeah, there's like no way that she would have made that work.
She wouldn't have
in any
even been
way.
able to stay human.
No.
You know, so
No.
yeah. But I felt like the deterioration of her sanity also, luckily for her, happened around the same time of the deterioration, like her understanding of what he is.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that's notable is that his deterioration, it has a finite end. Like after these zombies puke up and infect another person, they pretty much just cease functioning.
Yeah.
They die.
And and to be able to have any semblance of consciousness at that very end is remarkable.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
You know, and I think that's, you know, where love comes in here. The surfer, nobody loved him. He had
Exactly.
hate in his heart. And you can't have hate in your heart and be a zombie.
No.
Because then the curse will carry on. That's what
Goddamn.
breaks the voodoo curse.
Exactly. Love breaks the
True
voodoo
love.
curse.
It's a goddamn Disney Showtime collaboration.
Fucking Disney. Oh God.
Disney.
That's not too far off from what's happening right now with Disney.
Yeah, they just bought Showtime.
They just
I'm
they
just
did.
kidding.
Did they
I was
just buy
like, what?
Showtime? Oh my
Buy
God.
everything else. What the fuck?
Yeah, Jesus Christ. They bought Star Wars. They bought Marvel. They bought
Fake news.
almost all of Fox.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
Did they buy Fox? They
Yeah,
did buy Fox.
They did. Yeah, they now own the goddamn X-Men and Deadpool franchises.
Oh, Deadpool. Great one. Deadpool 2?
I still haven't seen Deadpool 2. I have Deadpool 1.
Yeah.
First one was great.
Second one, I thought the Deadpool was better in the second one.
Yeah.
However, the character that they decided to use as their like plot character,
Yeah.
they could have done better.
Oh, I see.
That was weak as fuck. But
Damn.
the Deadpool stuff was great, dude. The comedy in this one is over the top good.
So yeah, we definitely have a good review for Deadpool 2.
It sucked. I hated it.
It sucked. God damn it. Damn it, Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. I only like Ryan Reynolds. You know, they said that they almost didn't choose him because he's too pretty.
Really?
Yeah, because it's hard for people trust comedy if they're too pretty, you know. You get,
But he's in a mask most of the time in that movie,
Channing
and
Tatum.
even when he doesn't have his mask on, he's all
that's why they
gnarred
really
up.
that's why they
What?
really had to mutilate him
Jesus
to
Christ.
give him ugly. And there's
Well, isn't that what Deadpool's character looks like underneath the mask anyway?
it is
Or-
it is. So that's why it was okay.
Huh.
He went through.
Wow.
But there is a scene where you see Orion.
Ooh, really?
You see him. He walks through the
Damn it.
pearly wall there. And
God damn.
yeah.
Well, anyway.
Just for a
this-
second, you see his beautiful face. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, wow. Beautiful face.
Funny, funny as shit, dude.
Ruin the whole movie. Ruin the whole fucking movie.
Yeah, let's just spoil the whole thing, why don't you, man? Jesus Christ.
All right, back on track.
Yeah.
Back to the honeymoon, people.
Yeah. Even though this movie is very much a made-for-TV, made-for-Showtime movie, there are some interesting themes in here. I mean, the director really did try to add a cinematic flair the best he could. Like, even in the director's commentary, he said, like, oh, I mean, this scene is referencing Romero, and this scene is referencing, like, French New Wave, like Truffaut and, you know, Godard and all that. You know, and there are some actual thematic elements in this movie, like themes of loss and what it means to die, for one. Like, that's really a big part of it. It's about what it means to actually go through the process of dying.
The whole process is there.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? And that's her losing him that one time and feeling she was running from that the entire time.
Exactly.
And it just took her longer and longer to go through that process.
Yeah, that's what's real, man. I mean, in very many ways, I mean, zombie movies, they do kind of touch onto that a little bit. They touch on the matters of death, but in the end, zombie movies are about survival.
Yeah.
You know, and this is a zombie movie that's very much about death.
Mm-hmm.
It's very much the antithesis of normal zombie movies.
Yeah.
You know, other than not having the horde or the infection by bite or anything like that. That's the other way that they kind of turn this on its head.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which I can totally respect that.
Holy crap.
But
Just eating an ass over here.
yeah, eating asshole as is customary.
No, an ass.
Eating an ass.
An ass cheek from
Oh, okay.
the muscle in. I'm using it like a watermelon, like a chunk of watermelon. Just
Hey, you're still eating ass, bro. So,
yeah.
but another
The
theme.
sphincter's like the cherry, though. I'm saving that one.
God damn it, man.
Anyway,
Another one of the thematic elements of this movie is the actual nature of romantic relationships themselves, and also kind of a commentary on marriage in a way, which is interesting given the backstory here. Is like, you know, his sister's fiance died before they even got married, I think.
yeah.
So I'm kind of wondering, you know, what is this really saying about romantic relationships and marriage in general? It's trying to say something here, you know.
There's a Louis C.K. bit that kind of ties into this. I feel like where he's talking about being off of the food chain,
Oh, I see.
and he's saying one of the few luxuries we have as humans now that we're off the food chain is we get to die peacefully in our beds and like, I love you. You know, everybody's surrounding us. I don't want to kill the bit.
Wow, that's very enlightening given
Yeah, but
recent
everything
events.
else and everything else in the animal kingdom
yeah.
dies by getting their face eaten off, you know? And so this just kind of like crosses that where it's like you still have this human luxury of
Yeah.
being able to mourn and say goodbye to this person who you know is dying. However, now you're taken back to the food chain where now humans are on the food chain when this
Yeah.
dude's around.
Yeah, that's
You know?
right.
So some people have that luxury, and some people, you know, die while jogging.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So there's a lot of ways you deal with death in this movie, and way people's die in particular.
definitely. Now, how do you think that relates to the actual nature of romantic relationships?
Well, that's what I mean is if you're also another part of that bit
Yeah.
is the luckiest, maybe not that bit, but another thing he says is the luckiest thing that you could ever have in love is getting to be with that person. You get to meet him in high school and you get to live to be 100.
Wow.
That's it. One of you is going to die first.
Yeah, definitely. That's just a
and one of
given.
you has to live with that death, and there's nothing you can do to stop it.
Exactly, and she doesn't do anything to stop it. She just tries to mitigate it throughout this movie.
Exactly. Exactly. And even though she at the end has accepted, okay, fine, I'll go with you this way, or what else?
Yeah.
What else could it be? He spares her. He knows that even though all of this has happened beyond it, she has a life, and
in a way, it does kind of feel like she's trying to commit suicide.
Because obviously this has driven her mad.
Definitely. I mean, seeing all that death and carnage caused by her
everybody she
husband,
loves, and she's
someone
protecting
by
him.
someone that she loves, that she's supposed to spend the rest of her life with, go to Portugal with. Which is another big thing. Like, that's coming from real life as well. The whole Portugal angle. Like, that came from the actual real life story. The director's sister and her fiance were supposed to move to Portugal. Mm-hmm. And that actually comes up thematically in certain ways in this movie. Like, especially like in the scene where he bites the travel agent. Yeah. I mean, that right there just completely shows that full transition is coming into effect, and those plans are just gone.
You got to go to plan F at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because getting away was the only option.
And now that option is just...
Was he going to eat the pilot?
Yeah, exactly. That option is becoming less and less viable as it goes along.
Yeah, it truly is a nightmare that she's trapped in, but she's also truly in love with this guy. Yeah. So it's the power of that, and
I think that's another thematic element here is just the actual commitment. What it means to commit to somebody like that 100%.
And are you a snitch?
Yeah, exactly.
Snitches get stitches, or stitches get eaten in this case.
Yeah. I mean, remember after the
because if she had crossed that threshold and been like, Danny, I have to tell the cop, he'd be like, well, you don't love me.
Exactly. Yeah.
He spared her because he totally believed it. Like, she did good in that regard.
That's actually a good way of looking at it. Yeah.
I don't know. You look at it any way you want, but I'm just giving you some objective ways to look at this here.
Yeah.
I mean, really, honestly, both of them truly believed that they were going to be together until they died, whether that was now or like you said, if it was all finite. It was all deteriorating.
Yeah.
And
there's a definite end to his deterioration. And that end is the passing on of the zombification. Yeah. Which he completely subverted. And also, I kind of feel like there was a little bit of the issue of identity kind of being brought up here. Like, basically, the nature of identity in the face of death itself. I mean, this dude's deterioration, I mean, it just completely cancels out who he is. Yeah. So, I mean, it's just like, does death ultimately cancel us out at the very core of our identity? Yeah.
That's interesting to think about, too. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, he was very frustrated with that element of it, too. He didn't want to be that burden.
Yeah, I mean, and he knew that's what he was becoming, was a burden. I mean, it was very much like a sickness, and his wife is having to live with it.
I think he tried to say that. It was kind of like this. It was like, I'm sorry.
Exactly. That's exactly how he said it. I'm sorry. And then, damn it, man. Now, Robert, what did you think about the gore effects in this movie, man? At least the gore effects that was there. I mean, there's a little bit of intestines. There's quite a bit of blood.
When he had him in the bathtub and just chewing on his face.
Yeah, he's chewing on his stomach and his innards, and
that was hard. That was hard to watch.
That was crazy.
Yeah, and then like later on, she finds the head of that dude that was in the hospital with them
in the fridge.
It was in the closet, actually.
Was it?
That's right. Yeah, it was just stored away.
It was stored away in the closet.
Jesus
it's like,
Christ.
Wait a second,
flies
man.
and shit on it.
Well, wait a second, man. He wasn't even that deteriorated at that point.
The ticket to Portugal in his mouth.
God damn it.
Fucking shit, man.
I'm not going anywhere because of you.
Yeah, once again, just another reminder. It's like, fuck our plans. Mm-hmm. Fuck.
Yeah.
But I kind of felt like the gore it wasn't too upfront, but I mean, it was still very well done for something this low budget. I mean,
I watched it with my children,
Oh, really?
Yeah, my 11, my 9, and my 7-year-old. We all watched it.
That's parenting right
Yeah,
there.
and
showing them some horror movies.
yeah.
You know, I did cover their eyes. They don't like kissing and stuff. They're like, oh,
yeah.
God. Oh.
I'd imagine it's like, ew, cooties. Ew.
You know, and so like
I understand.
For some reason, I don't know if it's like because my parents did it, but I covered their eyes when the boobies come up. But then I instantly am like, no, because then you're showing them that's bad and like that's a natural thing. Like, don't, because this is not about sex. Like, this was not really about sex. This is a honeymoon. Like, in this context alone, that's like really the only way that I would emphasize to my daughters, like, you know, sex on the wedding bed, totally cool. Anything else, you might face scrutiny from everybody.
Yeah, that's
just saying.
That's just kind of how the culture works.
But for this movie in particular, like, they like scary stuff. We like watching like Conjuring. We've never seen The Exorcist because the masturbation scene and stuff like that. But we've seen some really scary stuff. They don't. We watched it on Halloween.
Oh, nice, man.
My 9-year-old and I went to the movie theater. My 8-year-old at the time.
I don't know. I kind of feel like it is totally a horror movie that you can show kids.
It was.
Even with all the blood and some of the gore and everything, like it's still
the insinuation of the pedophilia was there, but it wasn't strong enough that my daughter. It was terrifying that just her dad was after her. So she just thought, you know, so that went way over her head. However, you know, it makes us as adults cringe to see what's happening to little children happen.
Yeah, seriously.
So we were getting different stuff out of it, but
the opening sequence with Georgie was a lot more intense.
Oh man, that's dude.
Oh man, that was
see
rough.
the brutalizing happening, you know, and the suffering and the flopping around on the street in the rain.
You
like
actually see him bite.
My son's like,
you see the bite actually.
My son's his age, you know, and I'm just like,
oh yeah,
don't you play near them rain gutters, boy.
No, you stay away from them gutters. And then you stay away from clowns.
Dude, they are terrified of Pennywise.
Oh yeah.
I don't understand it. Like, they don't believe me when I tell them Santa doesn't exist. Absolutely refuse. But when I'm like, Pennywise isn't real, like, bullshit, Dad. Bullshit. I'm like, dude, how does Santa, with all this shit going on? No, it's not happening.
Oh wow.
And they're just like, well,
yeah,
they're dumb. Kids are dumb. They'll believe
But
anything.
I mean, I like to think that when it comes to certain type of gore effects, I mean, in certain movies, I mean, a lot of it is obviously fake enough that some kids will just be like, oh, well, it's just silly, you know?
No, they love it, man. My kids love it. They understand it's a movie too.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously some movies I wouldn't show kids one way or the other.
Yeah,
like I'm not going to be showing them The Girl Next Door or anything like that.
Well, this wasn't exactly.
Or I Spit on Your Grave.
I wouldn't say this is a kid-friendly movie per se, but if you are those parents that your kids are like desensitized from years of video games, then you can probably Zombie Honeymoon get away with it.
That's another good point. Is like most of these kids have already played Resident Evil, probably.
Exactly. We love zombies. The Black Ops offshoot there. We've played all the new ones with like Paul Rubens and Freddie Prinze Jr., Seth Green. They all voice it in there.
Oh no, really?
Yeah, it's some great stuff, man.
That's awesome.
It takes you back to the 80s. It's all decade-based stuff. So you go to a theme park in the 80s, and then you go to New York in the 70s, and it's all like funky disco.
That sounds like fun, right?
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then you actually end up like fighting Satan, so that's pretty cool too.
Dude.
Yeah, dude.
I would fight Satan.
You go back to the source of the evil, the curse from the voodoo.
Fucking Satan himself.
You go right to it, dude. You fight the beast from beyond.
That's awesome.
And Paul Rubens is like making sacrifices and doing all this shit. It's dope, dude. It's really
dude.
Yeah, he plays Willard Wyler, who is like this. He makes macabre films, and his every single one of his films have gone down in history. And what people don't realize is they're all real. Like, he takes these actors and kills them.
Wow, that's intense, man.
So, yeah,
I need to play these. I need to play these games a lot more often.
That's my favorite rendition so far. My kids love it. We love the Easter eggs. You know?
Oh, nice.
So I think we'd live very well in a Ready Player One world. I'm trying to prepare them for that. We're not really preppers.
Yeah.
We're not preppers at our house, but I'm just like, guys, VR is where it's going to be, and this world is going to be demolished, and there's just going to be like parking lots and
And then there's just going to be
giant
the Wired.
pyramids where we rewrite history. You know how it goes.
I think it's just going to be Serial Experiments Lane. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be the anime Serial Experiments Lane.
Yeah.
Like straight up. But anyway.
Did we cover this movie?
I think we kind of sort of covered this movie. I think like we were talking about the gore effects in this movie.
Yeah, I was impressed with it. I was.
I think that it was pretty straightforward for a movie of this budget.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
They put it into the gore.
Yeah, definitely.
They paid the actors less.
Like Robert, you tend to watch a lot of good low budget movies with lots of gore effects.
I'm a big fan.
Like where do you think that stood up to some of the movies in your collection?
It's right up there.
Definitely.
You know, with the that Halloween night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen stuff like that.
I don't think I've seen Halloween Night.
Who made that again? Which company? I forgot.
Was that Asylum that made that?
Asylum, dude. I'm trying to think of that all night. Asylum
movie?
film.
Yeah.
Horrors, dude, is great.
You know, Asylum, they make a lot of the mockbusters and everything.
Yeah.
Like, didn't they make like a mock Terminator movie or something?
Yeah,
like
right.
a mock Transformers and all this shit. Yeah, man. Honestly,
Killer Calls or something.
it's pretty much its own genre, man.
Wow.
Like they pretty much just make mockbusters of all these different
I gotta
movies
look
that are
into
out
that.
there. It's hilarious, honestly.
Awesome.
Good stuff.
And I think that they're the ones that released Sharknado, right?
Yeah, Sharknado.
Oh, that makes
yeah.
sense.
Yeah,
They've come a long way.
Yeah, they just released like the last Sharknado not too long ago. I think
What, 8 or?
8 or 9, I think.
No way. I guessed.
Yeah, there's so many of those.
I think I stopped at 3. My kids have probably seen them all, though. Is that okay? I can't stand it. I see
Yeah.
them watching it, I'm like, sure, whatever. Sharks eating people from tornadoes.
In a tornado, why not?
How
Fuck it, why
realistic? Are my kids going to be scared every rainstorm? No, you know?
No, it's like, come on now. That just drains credulity in every way, shape, and form. Yeah. But yeah, we do definitely love low budget movies like this on this show, and we definitely want to start bringing some more on. I want Robert to start bringing some more of those into
Bring
the
the whole collection. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, bring that collection. I want to start seeing some of those little cheap movies that you see at Walmart for $5.
Well, let me know, dude. I'd love to come back and y'all let me know what you're watching, and I'll take some notes. Come back.
Oh,
and
definitely,
yeah.
dude. That'd be
Shoot.
fun.
I love movies too.
Fuck yeah, man. We all love movies, man.
Definitely get us
Until we don't, until we just hate fucking bad movies.
There's a time where I honestly don't put on screens and I just listen to podcasts or audiobooks. So I'll go
Same
months
here.
like that.
Same here.
And when I finally do get back on, I get excited about watching old shit. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I want to watch the old King Kong, like the first,
From the 30s. Oh, that's a great movie. I
and
love that movie.
But it always sparks a love for something new. Like, well, fuck, now I gotta watch the Peter Jackson version, to compare.
So that means that you know a little bit about what makes a good quality movie. So what do you think about the actual quality of this movie, of Zombie Honeymoon, overall?
I would give it 3.5 out of 5 stars.
Yeah, that's pretty much our standard measurement for movies. That's our rating system.
right. I mean, that's
1
kind
to
of how
5.
it is everywhere. 3 out of 5. Or 3.5 out of 5.
That's pretty much what I would give this. This is definitely
There's a lot there that kept me watching.
This is a solid 3 for me. Like
Yeah.
especially at the second time when I watched it with the director's commentary.
Mm-hmm.
Like that actually gave me a little more respect for what the director was trying to go for, and I kind of feel like if he would have had like a little bit more money, like he probably could have made a really immersive and atmospheric movie.
Yeah.
Because he was trying to go for atmosphere here in certain elements, but I mean it was just, the cinematography was working against him there a little bit.
And this was
and
before
the budget was working.
GoPros.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of stuff in cars, like a lot of running, a lot of moving. So it was like a camera in the side seat,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
I felt like this movie, at first glance, it's not, the budget maybe, but really, honestly, the romance of it, the idea of it, it kept me captivated just on that.
And
There's
that's
always bad actors in something,
But I really don't think that these actors were just bad. They just really worked with what they had.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's really what it is. And
Yeah.
most of the time you just see
I feel like the friend had like an accent, and he was trying to sound like he was from California, but he was like Swedish,
Yeah.
right?
Something
There was
like
times where
that.
it was like, "Hey, bro."
Hey, or Canadian.
Or Canadian,
or something
yeah.
like that.
Holy shit.
Right?
Right?
What's up?
He's like trying to sound. He's like, "Yeah, man, we're going down to the surf, bro." I'm like, dude, where are you? Milwaukee? Like, where is this accent?
where's it
Yeah, it's
from?
like, come on, man. I think that this was filmed in New Jersey.
Was it? I don't know.
This is a movie that was filmed in New Jersey, I think. I think I saw that on some of the behind the scenes.
There was a lot of that in
Jersey Shore.
Yeah, the Jersey Shore and stuff.
Definitely had a little bit of a Jersey vibe to them.
That doesn't mean that's where the actors are from.
No,
You know,
not, of course not.
I didn't get any of that.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a typically Jersey film.
Yeah.
If there is such a thing. You know, I don't know, Robert, is there such a thing as an atypically Jersey film?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Any of the mob movies? There's a lot of stuff
Yeah,
happening
I think
down
so.
there.
I think that there's some movies from New Jersey that... Isn't My Cousin Vinny from New Jersey?
I haven't seen that one.
I haven't seen My Cousin Vinny in ages.
Joe
Pesci here too. And
Joe Pesci, yeah.
And
pay him a nickel to say a word funny.
Yeah.
But I mean, what do y'all think about the actual script for this movie, the actual story itself? Like, I mean, it was definitely cohesive, and it we went over some of the thematic elements earlier. Like, just structurally speaking, what do y'all think?
I thought it was good. I didn't think it was too heavy.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely evocative of the personal nature that he was trying to put in the movie. You know,
There was a lot of silence too.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is risky.
Definitely.
You know?
I mean, in silence, it can
because
be
you have
misused.
to rely just on the physical element of the acting.
Yeah, exactly.
And I felt like there was a lot of torment and a lot of frustration and fear.
Yeah,
that you know, scripted or just this is the part where you have to really break down and see that this is the last time you're going to see him, and like this, and I feel like just even just when he's playing that game and just bumping up against it, and she's coming up behind him, and just all of that just melting right there.
Yeah, it's like she's just slowly realizing, like, holy fuck, like he's barely even a human being.
All of
anymore.
that was better than any of the dialogue. Just the way that they dealt with their physically seeing it,
Yeah, and even how that segued into the actual dinner scene, there was that was also a very dialogue-free moment right
She's
there.
like, eat your fucking carrots. You're still a vegetarian.
Exactly.
I loved that line. That was funny.
You're still a vegetarian.
Yeah.
Yeah, but honestly, that
There's
just
blood on him.
That just shows like how she's just
Let me
desperately
get you some more.
just desperately grasping onto his humanity for him because he's just completely losing it himself.
Yeah. Yeah, I really think she went out of her way though, because she did. She made mashed potatoes and put them on the plate.
Yeah, yeah.
She's just gonna throw up in those.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there was also that scene that was kind of evocative of Dead Alive, where a piece of him falls off into his soup.
Oh
Yeah.
that was gross.
Yeah,
it was really
like you've seen Dead Alive, Robert.
Yeah.
You know exactly what.
That movie's
Yeah.
fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's a zombie movie we need to do.
I've seen
like,
that one. Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, I love Dead Alive.
Yeah, that's.
I have the full unrated version of that. That is so much fun.
Yeah.
That is a fun movie. You see some guts come alive.
Yeah.
It's like fuck
Yeah,
yeah,
better
man.
budget in that one.
And I think that the directing and everything in this movie was pretty solid. I mean, like
Dave Gebroe did it all.
Dave Gebroe, yeah, he did it all.
What has he done since?
Well, his first movie, I think it was called something like The Homeboy or something like that.
Did
I
this
think that's what
become a
it's
cult
called.
classic?
I'm not really sure if
Like
it's
on
a cult.
the way they pitch it on the front, like sure to become a cult classic. Like
I
really?
don't think so. Like on here, I see that there's a
Did we miss
quote
the
by
train?
there's a quote by Ken Russell. He says it gave me nightmares and made me wake up screaming. It's like, dude, you made Altered States. You made The Devils. It's like seriously. It's like this is an okay movie. I'm still standing by it's a solid 3, maybe a 3.5.
But was
to
he
me,
talking
but
about his own movie there, and they just threw that on?
I really don't know because that does seem like a pretty incongruous quote right
It
there.
does. Or do they just pay these people to say this shit?
I don't know. It's like, but Ken Russell, he's like a very
Or do
well-respected
they just
filmmaker.
rape somebody to say this shit? You know how Hollywood works.
Yeah.
Fucking Hollywood, god damn it.
I think the filmings knew how it worked. Right?
Yeah, it's like Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
Ugh.
This isn't a Weinstein film, but a lot of people wanted to be like Weinstein. That's what people don't realize is there was a fucking cult in Hollywood, and that dude was like who's the Scientology dude? Miscavige.
Oh, yeah,
David
Miscavige.
Miscavige.
Miscavige, yeah. In many ways, I can kind of see
Hollywood.
that a little bit.
Because people are like, how do you get more successful than that? Oh, you gotta like push some girls into the spa.
Jesus
you
Christ.
gotta trick them into getting naked and going in the spa, and then you just gotta go in there and.
Honestly,
like
man,
sometimes when my girlfriend's sitting on the floor, I just like when I'm naked and I get out of the shower, she'll be bending over.
Harvey Weinstein,
and I just like walk straight over, and I'll just like, oops, like she doesn't know, and I kind of like my nuts will accidentally hit her head. She's like, what? And I'm like, whoa, oh, oops, my bad. You know, I felt like Weinstein did that only in the spa, and it was like really obvious. Like,
and it was like on purpose.
They're like, whew, this is a great spot. He just comes in and they're just like resting on their leg. And it's like, oh shit.
I think it was a little more than that, bro.
I mean, that's how it started.
He's a true scumbag, and honestly, I don't see how anybody didn't see that coming. Like, he made a movie called The Burning. He wrote and produced it, and it is just rapey in every way possible, man.
Those are the scenes I don't like.
Yeah, it was like
Hills Have Eyes.
Like
remember that? There's a rape scene in both
that forced sex.
Yeah.
Feel, you know?
That's rape.
Yeah.
That's rape, dude. Forced sex. Yeah, that's rape, dude. I think you're a little too vaped out, bro.
No, I was saying like every scene, like, you know, he's trying to make out with the girl, and he's forcing himself.
Yeah, trying to force himself on a girl in every scene. Exactly.
Every scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, get off, creeple. Like,
yeah, but that's what The Burning was like. And The Burning
The whole
is seen
time.
as a horror classic. So
I need to check that one out, but I don't. I really don't.
It'll be like patently obvious.
It's like 1981. It's pretty good.
It's a good horror movie, but you will see
He's
that it was
in it?
made by. No, he's not in it. He
Okay.
wrote and produced it. But it definitely shows.
He's behind it.
He's
Story
behind it, and
Cripsy,
it
right? What was that?
fucking
Cripsy,
shows.
Cripsy story, or whatever.
Cropsy, I think.
Cropsy.
It was Cropsy. Cropsy.
That's a name
Yeah, that's the name.
Yeah.
Cropsy.
of a guy or a girl?
It's almost like
It's the main killer of The Burning.
it's basically the story of Jason, almost. You know, the way it feels. You know, like the second Jason.
Yeah. Nice.
And as far as this movie's concerned, I did like the punk rock soundtrack. That was nice and
That's pretty.
refreshing.
I always like that. SLC Punk was always one of my favorite films. So anytime I feel like I'm in that realm, I'm like,
definitely.
all right. Not enough punk rock films.
I mean, honestly, there
It's
really
a fun
aren't.
scene, dude.
Like there's like what, Suburbia, Repo Man, SLC Punk, and what
Tank
else?
Girl, maybe.
Maybe Tank Girl.
That was more.
Yeah.
That was more like mod. I don't know what that is.
I don't know. That was based off of a comic book. I mean, I don't know.
No.
Maybe they need to remake that.
No,
I think. You really don't think so? No, because honestly, the prevailing theory online is that they should be remaking bad movies because they might actually make them good.
That's very
know?
true. That's very
But instead, Hollywood just wants to remake,
Everything.
good movies. They want to remake everything.
like Halloween.
Like Halloween, exactly.
Over and over
However, I was a fan of Rob Zombie's Halloween.
again. Yeah, that was a good one.
I thought it was dark as fuck.
I think the first one is good.
first one's
Second
great.
one is just.
I didn't see the second one. Can't.
Second one lost me.
Just saw the second one at the
But
movies.
where he Danny Trejo, where he's
Yeah.
like, why, Michael? I love you, Michael.
Smashes his head
Yeah.
with the TV.
Suck your dick, Michael.
That was good to you, Mikey.
20 years.
Mikey. I was good to you.
I played with your balls, Mikey.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
You guys didn't watch the director's cut. Sorry.
The thing
did
is
not do
that I totally believe that it would come from a Rob Zombie movie.
Yeah.
Like just knowing his dialogue.
Nobody would touch you there. Now you confided in me, Michael.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe that would totally be a Rob Zombie movie. If he really wanted to go that far,
Yeah. I shouldn't have put my finger in your butt. I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ.
But it was 10 years of staleness, Michael.
Jesus Christ.
God damn.
Wow, we are totally taking down Halloween.
I loved it, though. I loved it.
Yeah, it was good. Well, anyway, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Like, I guess your final rating is 3 out of 5?
3.5.
I'd say it's a solid 3. It's a very solid 3. What do you think, Robert?
I'll give it a 3 too.
You give it a 3? Yeah, it's definitely...
I watched it twice, and I don't do that much.
Yeah, it's definitely a movie that's not too offensive to the senses or anything. Like, or if you're like a real cinemaphile, it's nothing that's like really, really bad or boring.
Mm-hmm.
It's obviously a made-for-TV movie.
Solid romance made for TV.
Yeah, and it has that feel to it.
Yeah.
Good enough for
And,
Showtime.
and that was before, that whole thing started to take off with Showtime and HBO and everything, so
Yeah.
It has that early quality to it.
Before, no, this is at the end, man. This is 2004.
2004, yeah.
2000, the heyday
Damn.
for Showtime was Red Shoe Diaries.
Yeah.
Right? You would stay up for tentacle porn. You would stay up for that. But I would fall asleep.
Or erotic confessions on Cinemax.
If this came on at
There you go.
midnight, I would fall asleep during it. I'd get through the first honeymoon scene and be done. There'd be a quick dopamine rush. If this was happening in 2004, I'm just kidding. That wouldn't happen. I'd never masturbate.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you got a really special episode here. Mr. Chazz Raab.
Yeah.
Trial by Air.
Look me up on Spotify. I got playlists of all the bands that have been on Trial by Air uninterrupted. If you want to listen to get to know the bands that are making that music, what we do is kind of similar to this. We just break down what they're doing,
Exactly.
only in a very non-noted way. I have no idea. I listen to the bands. I only know where they're from usually. So I like to just really dig in and
just kind of take it. You just take it as it is and just kind of interpret it as you hear it.
Yeah, and there's so many bands out there that have never seen a worldwide stage before,
Exactly.
and
Yeah,
we're their
exactly.
first interview. And that's what's so cool about it, in my opinion, is this is a document for them to look back on, if they keep going in 10 years, hey, remember that first interview we did? It's all right here with that first EP. And
Yeah,
it's just a
and
little
it'll
piece
be
of,
out there on iTunes and everything.
exactly. Hopefully it's all still there in an archive or something somewhere.
Oh,
but
I'm sure that it's probably still out there.
yeah, but I like to feel as though what we're doing is going to undercut A&R and record producers.
Yeah.
Not record producers, record execs. I want to be able to give people a chance without having to throw everything into one pot and risk it all.
Yeah.
They've already come this far. They've made an album. They've put in hundreds of hours of creativity and practice, and they've honed in on their art. Just give them a chance.
Exactly.
It doesn't. Why do they have to go through an A&R label and sit there and use social media, which just drains your soul and all this crap?
It's very difficult.
Let somebody do that
Yeah.
for you. Well, nobody's going to do that because they want your money. But this is a platform where people can get on and for free, and they can tell exactly why they're making music. They can talk about how hard, or just have fun. Just tell me fun stories about things that have happened to you on tour, or things that have happened while you're making this album, or or anything. Tell me a funny story. Tell me what feels good, and that's what we talk about. And then intermittently, every 5 minutes, you get an uninterrupted song, completely unedited. Yeah, and show notes, of course, lead you to everything. This is an all-in-one podcast, so much like the I don't know. It feels like a radio show, but it's not.
It
It's
definitely
kind
has
of like MTV behind the music.
Yeah, it has that vibe to it. It kind of feels like you're listening to one of the Sirius radio
Maybe, yeah.
stations, kind of.
Yeah, a little deep dive.
Yeah.
Deep dive stuff.
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
But
It's fun.
It's definitely a fun podcast.
But
to
with
listen
people
to.
you have no fucking idea who they are.
Exactly. There's no big names here, no rock stars. It's just people making music and people just loving music and talking about it.
Maybe that'll change all one day.
Yeah.
The goal, I guess, is 5 years. Bo and I have talked about this, 5 years or 7 years ideally, to be able to get a band on, and 24 hours later that band is ready to hit the road with the money that they've made through iTunes sales and Bandcamp sales, and
just by being on your show,
because we've turned a huge audience onto this tiny little band that was their Kickstarter. They did one episode of our show, and boom, now they can go on tour and go to those people who donated that $50, that $25. Maybe it's enough to get them to their city, and they can see that band in person.
Hell yeah, man.
In their lifetime. Yeah.
Hell yeah, I definitely recommend checking this show out. And on
thank
Twitter,
you, dude, for letting me come on. I appreciate it.
Oh man, it's great having you here. Honestly.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and you can find you on Twitter, right? At TB Variety Show.
Yep, TB Variety Show. Trial by Air Variety Show on Instagram. Everywhere else, trialbyairvarietyshow.com. And you can write me at trialbyairvarietyshow@gmail.com and submit your band there. Also, there's a Patreon. We won't talk about that.
Yeah, we barely bring up our Patreon as well.
It's there. It exists.
Yeah.
But we're not at that level yet, really. I can offer you guys some stickers, but just find me in person. I'll give you some stickers.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
don't have much on my Patreon.
Yeah, Collateral Cinema doesn't have anything like that just yet, but we're working up to that. And you can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Spotify. We are on iTunes. We are on Stitcher. We are on Instagram. We are on YouTube.
Stitcher.
We are on WordPress. We're on Tumblr. We're all over the place, ladies and gentlemen.
You're on Tumblr too?
Yeah, we're on Tumblr.
Yeah.
We have a Tumblr. We post straight from Podbean onto Tumblr.
Very cool.
Yeah. So definitely check us out. Check Trial by Air out.
You guys are hit.
And yeah, definitely. And check this movie out. It's pretty okay. You can probably find it for about $4 or $5 somewhere. You know, and I think it might even be on Hulu and Amazon Prime and stuff like that.
Amazon Prime.
I know for a fact it's on Hulu.
Cool.
Shutter.
Yeah.
Shutter. Amazon Prime.
Well, you should go to your local movie store and buy it from there because those places are closing down fast, and that experience in itself is gonna die out.
Yeah, me personally, I live and die by my DVD stores, man. I have to go every couple of weeks.
Shout out Entertain Mart, Kerrville.
Oh yeah, CE Exchange, yo, high price books.
Right on.
Gotta love them.
Right on.
But yeah, Collateral Cinema is out, ladies and gentlemen.
Peace. Bye.
Yeah. See you later.
What makes you think you can bullshit your way into my head? Like every other pencil neck piece of shit.
What do you want from us?
Bastards! Why are you torturing me like this? Why?
Anybody tries to get in here, I'll blast their ass and kingdom come. What do you want from us?
You bastards! Why are you torturing me like this? Why? What is this anyway? Some kind of goddamn comic book?
What do you want from us? Anybody tries to get in here, I'll blast their ass to kingdom come.
What makes you think you can bullshit your way into my head? Like every other pencil neck piece of shit.
Bastards! Why are you torturing me like this? Why?
Collateral Cinema is an L Company production. All music and movie clips are owned by their respective creators. Please don't sue us. We're poor.